Hello. Hello. Welcome. Welcome. Thank you for being here. I am especially ready to share all of this information with you about how to release the worry in your life. I feel like, and maybe you do too, most everyone that I am talking to on a daily basis is worried about something, and me included. You are not alone. And so I really just felt called to talking to all of you about how to find a little bit of relief and release the worry that is going on in your brain. So you're going to leave this webinar today. You're going to know exactly where your worry is coming from. You're going to know what questions to ask yourself to help starting release that worry in any situation of your life. And you are going to learn how to finally move from this place of worry that you're in right now to forward progress. So you are in the right place. If you're like, you know what, I am just ready for my life to be easier. It feels hard right now. And you're in the right place if you're feeling overwhelmed about your future or about your child's future, or if maybe you're feeling fear or anxiety around all of the unknowns that are coming along with being a mother and seriously just being a human. So I'm so excited to help you find a little bit of relief from the hard circumstances that you're going through. I know that you are going through hard things. And I'm excited to help you learn how to balance all of this worry that you feel and actually just help you enjoy your day to day, even when you're not able to control these things that are outside of us that are happening to you or to your loved ones. So, if you've never met me before, my name's Chelsea Winterholler. I'm a certified life coach, and I have dedicated my career to you, to moms, to just helping you find relief from the ins and outs of your days. And I really am an expert at teaching you these tools. And it's not just because I'm a life coach, but I am you. I have worried myself to sickness when I was told that my child wouldn't survive long after he was born. And I've worried myself just the other day through helping my 11-year-old son face feelings of anxiety in school and sports and honestly everything in between. And I've worried myself through helping my 9-year-old son navigate a health concern that he has. He has an anaphylactic peanut allergy. And so I have worried and worried and worried just like you. But through my education and through these experiences and going to school, and also having the opportunity to coach so many women just like you, I have learned how to really find relief from these feelings. And if you've ever been here before, you know, but I love how to help you help your kids identify what is causing worry in their life too. So let's just make our life easier. Does that sound great? Yes. Someone says, yes, that sounds great. Yes, let's do it. So I want you to write in the chat what isn't going like you planned it to in your life, in your personal life right now. What isn't going like you planned it to? My daughter isn't actively applying for college. My husband's job isn't paying him enough to keep us afloat. Yeah, I'm injured and I can't work right now. Yes, thank you for sharing. My son's plan lined out by his doctor got delayed. So we're in a holding pattern until he can progress any further. Definitely. Losing weight. Yes, not going as planned. The thing not going as planned for me is my kid got cut from a basketball team and it's rocking his world and mine. Definitely, definitely. My neighbor's pregnancy is having some issues. Yeah, not only do we worry about us and about our kids, but the people around us. Yes, So many things are going on in our lives. And honestly, you guys are still typing them. I could read from this list for days and days because there is just so much to worry about in our lives. And these things, some of these things that you said were really, really big things. And honestly, we also worry about tiny things like what we're going to eat for lunch and when we need to leave to get to the grocery store on time, right? The thing that my son was having anxiety about the other day was simply just he was learning his laptop and he didn't know if he had submitted assignments or not. So he was incessantly checking, going back and back and back, making sure he had turned them in, right? And when we are in the middle of something hard, which honestly, I know that you're in the middle of it on the daily, we want to figure out right now what to do next, right? We're like, oh, I'll just make my daughter fill out her applications, or I'll just go on this next diet. That's going to fix everything. Hopefully, it fixes it today, right? I'm going to just run to a doctor and have them give me a shot for my injury so that I can work. We'll just find another basketball team for a kid to play on, right? I'll just rush the medical plan and not accept what the doctors are changing or find a new doctor who agrees with how I want to do it, right? We are always often in the biggest rush of our lives when we are feeling this feeling of worried about the outcomes of our future. And I get it because I do it too. But I just want to tell you, it's just not helpful. Being in a hurry to fix everything in your life just makes it harder. So I want to suggest something to you. I want to suggest that you don't take action until you can simply level out your head and level out your emotions. So worry feels very, very constricting in my body. Okay. It fills up my head, and not with not simply just with all of the things that can go wrong, because that's what we do, right? Like, if I'm stuck here, how's my life going to look? How's it going to turn out? What's actually going to go on? Am I going to be able to play with my kids if I stay this way? All of those things are going through our head. But also, when I feel worried, I feel an actual weight, like a heavy, muddy brown weight in my skull. And worry, how do I explain this? It like grabs my chest and it stretches it so tight. Like, I think of like Spider-Man busting out of his suit, right? It like stretches across my chest so hard. And I feel like when I'm worried, it's like the worry is just like running around in my heart and in my head, kind of like a road runner. And it's running so fast and so hard that I'm like, I don't even know how to do this. I don't even know how to slow it down. Okay. Worry is always in a hurry. Always, always, always. Worry says, hurry up, fix the outside thing as fast as you can so that we can move on. It does not create any useful ideas or useful energy in our life. I do not like to show up in my life from a place of worry. Now, I bet that you don't like it either. And I wish that I had like a magic wand, I could zap it all away for you. But honestly, worry's just going to be there. I actually had someone tell me the other day, like, I just don't worry anymore. And I just don't agree with that. I think we all have worry, whether or not we recognize it as worry, or we recognize it as something else, or we push it away so hard. I believe that worry is gonna be there, like, unless you're a robot or a man. I'm kidding. But men sometimes are able to control their thoughts a little so that the worry isn't quite as intense in their life. But I just want to tell you that it's totally normal to worry. It's completely normal to feel worry. It's normal to have a million thoughts in your brain rolling around all the time. It's normal to feel scared when you aren't quite sure what's going to happen tomorrow or in a year or in 10 years. And you just have to feel it. I want to tell you something. So I was coaching someone the other day, And she came on the call and she was so stressed, so constricted that she couldn't even get words out of her mouth because she was so worried about her future that she didn't even want to talk about it, right? And she's in the middle of a pregnancy and she is scared about a plethora of things, right? And I have been there. I immediately bounced back to when I was her. I had a child who, at 18 weeks long, I found out he wasn't going to survive. And honestly, for the next 18 weeks, I carried him and I worried every day. And I let that brain train just run away. And some people would come into my life and try to fix it for me. And they would try to make me think really positively, like, it's going to be okay, right? Maybe everything will turn out fine. So, all of these things that you guys wrote to me in the chat, I could tell you that. I could tell you that everything's going to turn out. It's going to turn out just like you want, but it doesn't help. I've also had the other end of the spectrum where people just completely dismiss me and my feelings. I have had people just pretend like the situation that I was in just wasn't happening. And that's not the way to do it either. So, actually taking a step, acknowledging that fear and worry that I was feeling was absolutely the only way through this trial for me. And I bet the trials that you have, it's the way through for you too. And that's what we're going to do. And with my client who couldn't get words out, we completely paused. We didn't jump into how to fix it. I didn't even ask her what she was thinking that was making her feel this way. We simply just figured out how her body was feeling. Okay. We just found out that her heart was heavy and her stomach was churning, and her brain and her shoulders and her arms all felt like a big jumbled mess of tingles. And then we just talked about how it was normal and okay. And then she realized that all those feelings in her body were scared. She was scared. And do you know what that brought? The second she realized, oh my gosh, I'm scared and this is what it feels like, she felt a little relief. When worry comes, after we do that process and help remind ourselves that this is worry and we can acknowledge it and we can process it, and we remind ourselves that it isn't wrong to feel it, then we want to know what to do to help it release just a little bit. So here is the three-step process, okay, to release worry. Number one, we're going to notice. We're going to notice the stories that our brain is telling us. Number two, we're just going to ask a couple simple questions that I'm going to go over with you. And number three, we're going to decide. We're going to decide where we want to go from here. So number one, notice the stories that your brain is telling you when you are feeling worried. I want you to remember that every feeling comes from a thought. We've already processed this, okay? We've figured out what we're feeling, how it feels in our body, and now we are jumping in. We're digging in and we're ready to release the worry. So we're remembering that feelings come from thoughts. So we're going to start noticing those thoughts. Okay. So let's take the example from someone who said they're waiting for the doctor to give them an action plan, right? Their plan has been halted. And I actually think that this applies to a lot of you. We're waiting for something, right? We're waiting for daughter to make a decision. We're waiting for someone to tell us how to lose the weight. We're waiting for the doctor to line everything out for us, okay? So you might have some thoughts in your brain. These are the stories that our brain is telling us. Okay, that the train that's just running away. You might be thinking, this is never going to come to an end. I can't do this. I don't know what to do next. It isn't fair that we have to go through this. What else might you be thinking? No one cares about me or what happens to me next. I'm all on my own. This is all on my shoulders. I have no idea how this is going to turn out. right? You are going to feel worried when you think these thoughts. That is normal. All we're doing right now is noticing the stories. I've told myself all of these stories before. All of them. Write them down if you have to. And if you've been here before, I always recommend journaling. Writing things down seriously puts the brakes on that road runner who's running circles, right, in your brain. Just writing things down helps so much. I just want you to start to notice the types of thoughts that you are entertaining. And you don't have to judge them. You just get to notice them, right? So you don't judge yourself for thinking this isn't fair. You just say, maybe it's not fair right now, right? Don't judge yourself for thinking that no one cares about me or what happens with this. Maybe you are the only one that cares about this right now. That might be the truth. We're just noticing the thoughts that your brain has inside of it. Don't judge yourself. Okay. Second step is just to ask, what is the truth here? And I love this because the reality is that it's probably just as true that something good could happen, right? So if you are focusing on losing weight and you're thinking, I'm never going to reach my goal. Do you know what? What is just as true? It's just as true that you could reach your goal. Your brain is just so hyper focused on all the bad things that could happen, right? So one of the thoughts was, this is never going to come to an end. And I want you to ask if that's the truth. What is just as true right now? This trial that you're in could actually end. The doctor could literally call in 30 seconds. You could find the perfect plan within 24 hours, the plan that actually works for you. Your daughter could actually apply to college tonight. She could just walk in and someone would have said, like, hey, you should apply to college. And she likes that advice. It could literally end in 30 seconds. Or, yeah, it could take 10 years. But telling yourself and letting your brain, like I said, hyper focus on only the bad is not getting you anywhere. I want you to ask, is it just as true that something good could happen? Okay. So often I hear, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know what to do next. I don't know what the next step is. Okay. It's so common. We spin in I don't knows all of the time. Actually, when I am coaching and I hear someone say, I don't know, it's like the favorite thing ever because I get to show you that you totally know. You're an amazing woman who knows how to make decisions. You totally know what to do next, but you're choosing to tell yourself that you don't know what step to take because you're like, it just feels good to worry. Your brain is like, it feels so much better to worry and all the I don't knows than it does to take that step. It is not the truth that you don't know. Your brain is just offering that to you. That's it. So the next thing you actually need to do is just look up the number for the doctor's office, right? The next thing you need to do is follow the plan that you've been thinking about following for the past 6 weeks. The next thing you need to do is maybe just wait and sit and be patient. That literally might be the next thing you need to do. It might be brush your teeth or call your mom. You know the next thing to do. I promise you, and any time you start a sentence with I don't know, it's not the truth. You may have some options that you need to weigh, but you know the next thing. Stop telling yourself that you don't know. You are just so focused on this feeling worried and all of those thoughts that we noticed in the first step that you aren't even letting your brain go to the next thing you might need to do to make progress. What about this isn't fair? I've told myself this so many times. What is fair? Maybe going through this actually gets you exactly to where you want to be. Maybe this trial that you're in is creating resilience and strength and an opportunity to love and serve not only you, but those around you, because you will have empathy. Okay? Maybe you are in a ton of pain right now because you are in cancer. In order to get out of the pain, we have to go through it. We have to go through the treatments to get to that beauty at the end. I have a sweet friend who has cancer and she's seeing lasting effects of it throughout her life. It's hard and it feels so unfair. But the steps that she is taking now will get her what she wants in the end. You have to ask yourself questions. You have to weigh the 50-50 and see that it is just as true that something good could happen or good could come of this as that only bad things come. When you tell yourself, I'm all on my own, what is just as true? It's just as true that you are not alone. You actually have me right here through this screen. You have a doctor. You might have a mom or a friend or a lady at a grocery store who will listen. I know you feel like you're all on your own, but you're not. You have people. Okay? So ask yourself that question. What is just as true here for me in this situation? Okay, and then we're going to go to step 3, decide. Where do I want to go from here? Okay. And this is where I love to zoom in. You can zoom in and look at your options. You can stay zoomed out and you can let your brain spin and spin and spin forever and ever. You can literally let your brain run for years and years over the exact same problem that you have been facing that feels like it's never going to end. You really can. You can let that worry just be in your body all of the time. Or you can just decide. Okay? Maybe the decision that you make is just to start doing this 3-step process. Just to take your problem, notice the thoughts that you're having about it, ask yourself some questions, and then decide if you want to keep thinking those thoughts. If you want to go through this again, right? Maybe you can decide that it is time to worry right now, right? Maybe right now it's time to process it through your body, to feel the heavy weight and the speed and the color and the shape in your body. Maybe it's time to do that. Maybe it's time to do a thought download and actually write all of the thoughts in your brain in a journal, out on paper. Maybe the decision is to take time to take care of yourself by listening to music, by meditating, by breathing, literally breathing in 6 seconds through your nose, out 7 seconds through your mouth. I do it all the time. That's why I tell you guys about it a lot, because it works. Maybe you take care of yourself by listening to one of my podcasts and getting your head in the right place. Maybe it's just time to focus, to go in and zoom in and focus on what you are thinking and what you are believing. Maybe it's time for you just to take a little extra effort and put it into nurturing your mental self. maybe it's time. When something doesn't go as planned, when you notice that you are starting to feel worry in your body, all you have to do is these 3 steps. They can be done throughout a month, or they can literally happen in 30 seconds. Notice what your brain is thinking. Ask yourself what else could be true here, and then decide how you want to move forward. You can totally keep on worrying and use all of your energy that way. Or you can just choose to notice, ask, and decide. That's it. I'm so glad that you came, my friends. Be sure to check out my podcast. It's called Embrace Relief. You can also go and schedule a free mini session with me. I would love to help you take your worry and work together to release it just a little. If you have any questions, I would love to answer them in the Q&A. No questions. All right. Okay, thank you so much for coming. I'm so glad you're here. We'll see you soon.